So today I'm working on Tanco again. In my last session that I broadcast, I got a WebSocket working, and so you were able to talk to the with Tanko Bind. You're able to send open up a WebSocket listener on your local machine and talk to it. So I now have a little Godot program that I wrote that allows you to actually play your game and drop things into place. And of course, it's turned up a few issues. For example, you can, in my implementation, if you rotate this, you can't move it left any further. You can move it right, but the tests for LearnTrist don't actually cover this case, and so I didn't address it right. So it's actually treating it as if it were rotated this way, right? It doesn't know that you can't move it. You know that once you rotate it, you might be able to move it a little further left. There's a couple other little bugs I found, but this is this is the vision I was going for, was where you would have something like this to just run your program and debug it. And of course, this is like a string that gets you everything that you've done so far. And the thought would also be that you might be able to like step through this, or like click on a particular spot and run everything up to that point, so you can see the exact position that the game was in at that point. And debug things. I'm also really thinking about the idea that this is, not just a game, but you're actually writing a protocol for, a Tetris utility, right? So, like maybe if somebody was writing this by hand, they might not want to put this so many times. Maybe it might be nice to have like a, something that says like we did this 5 times. So like have the number 5, and then, or maybe this is however many items this is. There's 22 lines, so you might press down 22 times or whatever, and also have like a little ability to like draw a grid in here, to draw a situation and set it up, and to say like how would you handle this situation. Also want to have the queue and the hold piece, and like I make this actually a game that you could play. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think there ought to be some payoff once you get to this point in the game where or in the test suite, so that you can actually interact with it without having to build your own front end for it. Of course, you can use this front end as a model and do whatever you want with it, but since it's Godot, it could run right here in the browser, and then I don't know. I'm pretty excited about that. But this is a specific front end for one particular class, and what I'm talking about today right now is actually Share. So Share would also open up a WebSocket, and it would allow this sort of thing in the browser. So like any kind of REPL here. So like I can say clear and send this, and it wipes out the whole thing. There's another bug, it doesn't clear out the tetramino there. If you have to do that because we don't test for that. So I didn't implement it because the tests don't cover it. So I think there's a few things that we need to be done to shore up the LearnTrist tests, and then also just the experience of using this thing. I found that there's way too many. There's a lot of tests in here, and so it gets cumbersome. And the things that you worked with most recently are at the bottom, and I think they should be at the top. So that's a minor thing that ought to be fixed. And then also the look and feel here needs to be fixed. And then we need to add some buttons that say like next and whatnot. So that's what I want to get into today. I want to drive the experience from the browser and not really do a lot of work in the terminal unless it's absolutely necessary. Yeah. So, and then also with the WebSocket, it turns out that some things, like if you drop it to the bottom here, and then I think if you say S and you send that, I think it's going to break. Oh, maybe not. I guess I guess what happened was I had cleared out a row. There needs to be a ghost piece down here as well. I want to implement. Oh, see, then I screwed that up. Yeah, so we could reset the game. We could put an L over here. Drop this. Boom. Put a J over here. I'll show another bug that I had. Basically, what's going to happen is that I'm going to get to the bottom here. Let's put a O over here. Of course, I'd like to run this all with the joystick and also have or gamepad, and also have it drop on its own. What am I trying to say? Here, let's put an I there. Date it. This one also can't go to the, oh, right, so that can't go to the very left. Actually can't do that. Drop that there. And then put this over here. And I think what happened then is that, so S is the one that steps it and would actually clear these rows. And there was a bug there. And yeah, I see it. So my, I'm running this in Godot and it broke. So it's sending a bunch of garbage to the screen, and you can see that it's like the two blocks of the bottom tetromino are still there, but nothing else is on those lines. So like I deleted a line, but didn't clear it out, and my test didn't catch that. So yeah, so there's some issues with the test there. Anyway, but the point of that was that this is now frozen up. Okay, but I think if and then when I close it, no close frame receipt, I think I'm no longer connected. This is the output of tanco bind here, so let's see if it works. Send. Oh, it is. Okay, so it did stay connected even though I reset it, but you know, you're not getting error messages from the thing basically, and so there part of that is that, you know, in the client here, the the error trapping isn't all that great. It's non-existent, but also over here, like this ought to be cleaned up. And like if the program itself dies, which I'm sure there's a way to do, then you know, this crashes. Anyway, so this is something I'm working on. There will be, I'm going to make like a nice little compact video about how to do this in Godot, how to set it up, and I didn't want to. Actually tried filming it yesterday. It was, my little girl was here and she was distracting me, and it was not a very good experience for viewers, I guess, or for me. So that's enough of that. Let's see, Greencast. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just get rid of this for now, and we'll talk about that another time. And really my goal today is to just clean this up and get some buttons in here. So I'm going to jump right into the code here. Install update, sure. We'll install this update. Every time I log in, I install an update for Copilot. Maybe that wasn't the most important thing to do on camera, but I hit the button, so let's do it. There's windows off to the side telling me progress here. Should reset in a second. Oh, there's a goofy picture of me. All right, in the meantime, we'll bring up what I want to talk about, since this may take an hour apparently. All right. So, as I said, this is all like WebSocket stuff. I've got tanco bind working. Probably there should be some, in both cases, we need to be able to reconnect to the client or relaunch the client if it dies or locks up. Relaunch the target program if it dies or locks up. Handle disconnects cleanly. And then, so that means from tanco bind, and then reconnect, attempt to reconnect if server lost on tanco share. So that all comes later. So we'll bring this back up here. These are like recovery things. All right, so then, yeah, I wound up not doing the $ thing. I was gonna have the $ actually print a $, but then I just decided to use the semicolon as a way to trigger a particular output. Because we're only sending that output if we want to say like there'll be like some kind of run command or whatever. So, but I think what I'm going to do, like, first is, yeah, add this console. in the tanco in the server UI. It's funny. I had a little console, and I deleted it because it was just sending to the. It was sending to the, to a different endpoint, right? Which is exactly what I need now, right? Like I need a way to send. Well, it was just posting. It was just posting data, and then. Yeah, I get okay. So we'll see. All right. So on the server, we need on server we need to add a. Still, this is not rebooted. All right, to activate plugin change, restart. On server, add a listener for the tanco client, which would be a separate WebSocket connection than this, right? So we need we'll have to have two of these little things. This will be the this is the one for the browser talking to the server. So this, instead of WebSocket, we should say browser to server connection is stable, and then the other one is the command line. All right. So I guess, okay, that's actually a new thing. Add a second WebSocket indicator for client. Okay. This is actually done. Well, yeah, this actually works. That's how I'm. This is what we want to do today. Send test to next. Show action buttons on the web. That's right. You want to add those. This is, yeah, these things are like improvements to the test runner itself. And they're saying, so I want to allow the end of line. So first, I've got a situation where tanco check fails for my red implementation, even though I can just hit Control D and exit. Otherwise, it goes the tanco check goes into an infinite loop and times out. Set up new protocol to end test results with a $sign. I think that is wrong. Actually, that might be fine. Like that might actually be important because the test results themselves do have to have a $sign. You have to have some kind of indicator that they're done sending output, because otherwise they might send extra output and you wouldn't be able to test it. So we have to be able to test that there's a $sign. Okay, show progress as it runs test locally. But I'm not working on that today. This is a separate thing. These are fixes for tanco test. And this thing are improvements, tanco test improvements. Maybe even these go under. Okay, attempt to reconnect. Yeah. So this, we'll call this error handling. And and some of this is UI stuff. So UI improve UI to drive the client. All right. So let's start with that because I want to figure out what this is going to look like over here. I want to also like reverse this, clean up test list. It's not really part of this thing, but I might just do it anyway. Let's just see. All right, so I have my editor again. Yes, we finally came back up. Tips of the day. Okay, close. Great. All right, so we no longer need this on here, I think. That's another thing. I just refresh this page. This is what we get when we start. This really should show something. But we should have buttons here that say like test, next. So let's put them in, but next should be grayed out until all the tests are passed. So I guess this is the attempt page. Is under templates. Right. So oh, this is actually part of the attempt as well. Right, that makes sense. What if we just did this? I wonder if there's a reverse. Reverse. Did that upload? Oh. Okay. There we go. That's better. And what if we just took this and we just said smaller? And instead of this, we said div. I like that a little better. And we'll call this like past tests. Past tests. I don't like that it does that. HTMX scroll. Window top is what I want. So HX swap. is what I wanted to do. Disable it globally. Maybe on the very index page. All right. So with that, let's try this. There we go. I like that. Now it's just doing what it ought to do. Okay. Or what I feel it ought to do. Maybe it should have some. Okay. All right, let's get rid of this line right here. I know this is not exactly what I'm looking to do, or what I said I was going to do, but go ahead and under attempt again. The attempts have a name, right? So we say Learners Classic. So yeah, so that's the attempt name, challenge name. I wonder if we could even put this in the. I can't put it up there, can I? And this really should be like past tests here, and then state. State HTML. Okay. Maybe I will put that back to where what it said before. Let's roll it back, but just make it C. Maybe I just remove this. It would be nice to be able to put something right here. I feel like I'm wasting too much space. So after my data, I don't know what that would be. Okay, so that's way too high. Left 30 picks. How about 100 picks? Top is 50 picks. Okay, top is like 40 picks. About right, and then left is about 200 picks. 250 picks. And maybe instead of view name, instead of saying that, we'll just put the data.code. How about data.started? Yes, right. Okay, so the attempt probably doesn't have the actual page that's showing this probably doesn't have the doesn't have that information. A code, a state, a TS. Oh, yeah, there we go. Maybe we should line this up, these two up. And maybe this whole thing should be should have like a separate color, I guess. Maybe I'll make the main part have a title. Main body or background color. Is that the same color I already have? Yes. So now if I want to change that color, just want to make it, I want to move it somewhere over here. Oh. That is not what I want. It's horrible. And I want to go the other direction, make it a little bit lighter. But if you're going to do something a little bit, make it, maybe don't make it so subtle. Right? Like that. There we go. I like that. Can I say that? No, I have to say position. No, that didn't work. Say absolute. I like height. How about min height? You can't fit the container, right? Calc minus 100 pixels. Minus 200. Margin doesn't help me. I don't want a scroll bar at the bottom. You know what? Maybe just like, I'm not a designer here. Margin is 0. Definitely want margin 0, but that's okay. I'm okay with this. So I guess this, maybe there should be like a little top bar up here that says what state are we in, and then like the things we can do in that state. Right? So I think like the dot state be background and an even lighter color, or maybe just go back to this color. I don't know. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's not actually called state. And we'll say class equals state. Dot state is state. Oh, that looks terrible, doesn't it? Okay. How about, can we say H3 here? I think we can, but then we have to say style equals display inline block. Otherwise, it'll look terrible. State. Still quiet. Maybe I'll leave this the same color as before, and then, yeah, this is like not important stuff, but I do want this to look nice, you know? Leave this for later. I don't need anything for this. Okay. And then this should have some different coloring. Maybe even white, or whatever, like the main content. So this is result. I think that is the I think it's called test detail. If I do test detail, we're going to say alt space test detail, and we'll make that background white. Background white, padding 10 pics. And then width is 100%. Oh. Why doesn't that work? Because it's inside of something else? Can you test if the thing is empty? Yeah, we do that instead. I think you have to remove the space. Why doesn't that work? Or text including white space. Okay, so we have to. There we go. I think I want to hover on these. I want to put like a little, just put like a little light color on that. Maybe just on all the links. Hover and just say background white. You can see a little clearer that they're. Or maybe this color. Well, no, because that would be the. Like an even lighter color. Even lighter. feel like this needs to be moved over about 10 pixels. This doesn't look silly. So these words line up. No, this is not. Super exciting, but I like that better. And let's make these two line up. Maybe bring one a little to the left and one a little to the right. Mm-hmm. There's actually a line on the right. So let's say left. And we'll put these a little over to the right as well. Well, we don't know how long this is going to be, so this is. I think this should be a link to itself. Whatever. Okay, so anyway, now we need buttons over here. So state, in the state area. So we'll have button next. And then test. We can always do test. We can always do next. And this should be disabled most of the time. Disabled. Like really, these are the only two commands, right? These are, you have test and you have next. And then you can say like back. Which we don't actually have yet, but we can say. Probably they should all be disabled until you have a WebSocket connection. Let's put a tooltip on each one of these. and then span class equals tooltip. Requires tanco share. Looks like the style we need to change so that color is black, or at least number, something very, very low, like 111. Three, 666. Yeah, I like that. We'll say tanco test, run tanco test on the client. Requires that all tests have passed. And that's centered because it's inside of a button, but so we want to force this to be text align left. To ignore the what we say, you've accepted a test, you've said you to remove, to temporarily remove the latest test. Move on to the next test. requires that all tests are passing. All known tests are passing. To evaluate all tests, to evaluate known tests. To add a new test, to accept a new test. All the tests are passed. How about on the client to temporarily forget the latest test? Evaluate. On a tanco test, to evaluate known tests. Forget about on the client. I think this looks a little nicer. Latest tests. All right, so now we have to actually send those commands, which means we have to connect to the thing. Oh, and then I wanted to have, so before I do that, I just want to show action buttons on the web so we have them. I don't know if that's really done because they're not like enabled yet. Add simple learners console, not really learners console, but like console, target console. So whatever your program is, then we should run that. Just like the Godot client, but this time we will run it from here. So, and then maybe we put what do I want to show? Just shell. Put a shell here. I want it to be like a button that toggles, you know, like let's see. Make it not disabled. And then when you click on this, it would pop open like a little box over here, right? That you could type into. This is also a lot of content to be generating here when really this is the part that changes. I'll worry about that later. I'm gonna put that on the attempt page. Detail, and then over here, like maybe above that, we'll say console div id equals console or shell, right? Because I called it shell. And I guess you would have a text area, and then you would have a button. Yeah, something like that. Swap outer HTML. Well, you don't want to swap anything. What's wrong with HX post? Oh, because it doesn't know about PyCharm doesn't know about HTMX yet. Okay, that's not what I want. Form. Put a BR in here. Maybe this should be right. Say button type equals submit. I think that works. Submit. And let's do something to indicate that this is a text to send to your program, text to send to your program, text to send to your program. I actually would say label here. Or equals text, input, label. Or we don't even have to say that. I think we can just say yeah, and then you put the thing inside of it. Maybe you have to give it a name. But we do want to give it a name, so in text area name equals input and or send. And then this whole thing we'll style up a little bit. L. Nope. Shell text area. Say height. 3 lines, I guess. 3M, 3X. And width is about 50M. About 64M. That does not seem right. I thought height was the Hey Ayush Kumar, welcome. Oh, thank you. I've been doing this for a while, so you're kind of getting in at the tail end here. I actually thought I was kind of done with this program, but welcome. Feel free to ask any questions if I'm not making any sense. I'll just say 20 pixels. I am okay. Thank you for asking. How are you? That just does not seem. I think this doesn't make a lot of sense because you want to have the output too. You want to see what the program is sending back. So really, there needs to be like an output, which is going to be like 56, and then the input. Oh, right, because I didn't call it input. Shell input. X. Oh, I lost my. This should be dot input and dot output. And we have to make a dot output. maybe instead of this, we'll put this all on one line. We have the, yeah, like that, but like make them better. Output. Oh, and that's actually, that's not a class. You'd have to say name equals output, name equals input. Put these in quotes. That I probably have the syntax wrong. CSS attribute syntax. Oh, maybe you need double quotes. Don't see why. Oh no, because you have to say it's a child. You have to put a space there. There we go. Oh wow. Okay, so height equals, let's say width equals. Go like that. So we'll say the width is equal to calc of 64m minus, like, I don't know, 50 pixels. And then we'll make the width of this 50 pixels, and this will be the button. Should have worked, but and then we say vertical align top. Okay, why did that happen? Top, and height equals 64 pixels. There we go. And then, okay, so then the data will come in here. I might just call this shell output, shell input, so I have names to refer to them in HTMX. Are you writing this program in your computer? Then how it open in live URL? Well, I have this editor set up to save. Every time I save, there's it's called PyCharm, and then it has a tool called deployment, and this thing says automatically uploads. So every time I save it, it uploads it to my web server, and then I just refresh the page over here. So I just hit Alt Tab and then I hit Control R, and that refreshes it. No, what state I want to temp on. Over here. I should probably make my head smaller if I'm going to do that side of the screen. So actually, we don't post the output. We just, this should be over here, and this should be maybe pre ID equals shell output, but it's not data output. It's just this. By default, it will be a bunch of extra lines, empty lines. Oh. In fact, maybe instead of a text area, we make this a input name equals input, type equals text, and then want to say maybe just not even put these heights on here. But just forget these heights. Let it just use the regular heights, which ought to be same. And then this, we'll put like a background color. So background for the shell, say background number EEE or something like that. Okay. And the width would be that ought to have worked. Put a vertical line top. So we have to also add minus 50 pixels. So like whatever the margin is, we'll assume 60 pixels, whatever. No, 80 pixels. Looks like it's lining up. And the shell itself will be this plus width calc 64M. Yeah, plus about 20 pixels. Nope, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Because the font is different, I guess. All right, so I'm just gonna, I've never actually used a CSS variable, but I think you can define a variable. All right, so we say shell width is equal to, like, just say 500 pixels. And then the shell width plus 20 pixels. And then here we'll say there shell width minus 80 pixels. Let's see if this does anything. Ooh, terrible. Oh, actually, that did what I wanted. So then the output just has to be the same thing. So the width has to be calc there. Oh, we don't even need the calc because it's just this. Just say there shell width. Are you using Firebase for Google authentication? Yes, I am. So when you sign up here, it goes to Firebase, and then that's the only one I've set up. Is you can actually go to this. You can go to tanco.tangentcode.com and I use MySQL database in live streaming apps and games backend. I don't see why not. Well, the live streaming part, you have to set up your own live streaming part. So I would say maybe yes, but you would have to do something to make it, to do the live part. If you want like SQL with a with live streaming, the way Firebase does live streaming, you might like supabase.com. It's not MySQL, it's Postgres, but this is open source, or you can use them as hosting. But they basically have a I don't know what Agora or coins are. I'm guessing that's some kind of crypto thing. I have no idea. But I looked at this Supabase thing. It was kind of nice. I almost wound up using it, but it doesn't do the hosting part. So I was like, well, I don't know. I was more familiar with Firebase, so that's what I used just to get started. I think this is going to toggle that. And I think this should be like floating over this. Maybe not. I think I'm going to set this to a specific height and then add display, have it with a scroll bar. The height would be like 10x. I don't get that. 10x should be the size of the height of the x character. CSS x unit should be the height of an x character. Oh, the lowercase letters. CSS line height unit. I don't think there is one that says how many units, how many height, how many lines you can have. Oh, line height. Okay. You can say 5 line height. So 10 line height. And then overflow y is scroll. Overflow x is auto. So if we really get that, no, we say wrap. I already use Firebase, but it's very expensive. And when more user active, same Firebase database works very slow. Any suggestions for real-time database like I said, Supabase. Supabase. Well, okay, so Supabase is a real-time thing based on that's similar to Firebase, but it's built around Postgres. Is a database system similar to MySQL, except just it's different. So this is open source. You can host it yourself, or you can whatever it's supabase.com. And it's a SQL database that has the same kind of real-time stuff. That itself is built with Elixir, and so if you use Elixir, they have a web framework called Phoenix that is you get all this kind of stuff for free with whatever backend you're using. Can I integrate this in Android? Beats me. That's you'd have to try it yourself, I guess. I mean, it all works by WebSocket, so yeah, probably. I don't see why not. But you're going to be off the beaten path there. I've never done it, so I don't know. But you can use web. I don't know what you're using with Firebase, but I happen to use Flutter with that, and that worked pretty well. Make cross-platform clients with that talk over a WebSocket, or I guess Godot too. You can use Godot to the game engine to talk over a WebSocket. You just have to figure out what their protocol is. I don't know. Okay, so shell output. So we got to send something here. And when we send it, it should appear, the answer will appear here. I don't know how you get real-time data without sockets. That's how you you do it. So WebSockets are how that makes sense. WebSockets are an enabling technology of real-time data. Right, so like, for example, I've got a little program here that is running on my computer, and I need to be able to connect to it. So I'm going to set that up now. All right, so wow, that's terrible. Maybe I'll actually just put this here. Make sure this still works. Yeah, that's the same size. GSGD. Add tanco. Git commit -m. Add add mock UI for, what am I trying to say, for tanco share. All right, and then when we run tanco share, we have to do next. So let's close this. Need any of this. And in the driver, what am I looking for? I want to find Python WebSockets, because this is the module I'm using to, oh, I already have it right here. Probably I should just close this and close all these other windows that I don't need anymore. Okay, so this is my demo. Wow, that's too small for me to read. I think I determined that that answer was not useful, so I'll say connect. Nope, server, I want server. Set this future to exit the server. Oh, okay. I don't think we need that. I think we need to say that. So await serve. How do we say bind here? Call this one bind. So the thing about share is that we're actually going to connect to the web server. How many max users are connected to WebSocket at one time? Can I upload my Node.js WebSocket server in cPanel to use it? I have no idea about that. That depends on your hosting company. But how many are connected depends on your web server. If you have, I'm using Nginx. I don't know what the limit is. I haven't tested it myself, but should be pretty high. If your web server is connection based like Apache, then you're in a little bit of trouble because you can saturate the number of connections. My understanding is Nginx is a lot more forgiving, or if you set up Apache to use, you can set up Apache to use workers rather than, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the Apache terminology is, but as long as sockets aren't a scarce resource, you're okay. Like any kind of connection, you're just going to use up a socket. But. Okay. But like Discord or whatever runs on top of Elixir, and I don't know if that's WebSockets or not, but in theory, there's no limit to the number of socket connections you can have. It's just whether your web server is set up to, if you're setting up a new process for each one, then it's a whole lot harder than doing the async stuff. Do share. Why is this? Okay, so do share. So I need to connect. I don't want a server. I want a client, don't I? I am a client here. So with WebSocket Connect, we just connect, and then we send the web. We call WS talk on the WebSocket. So we say WS equals WebSockets. But I called that W, didn't I? W dot client dot connect. They don't even need that. Self client URL 8. So 8 would be HTTP colon // yes. 7. Right. And then where do you host your WebSocket server? I don't know. I use Linode. I just have my own server. I just have I don't use a shared hosting provider with like cPanel and stuff, but I don't know what that is. Like Supabase also does the providing for that piece, just like Firebase does. But you can also host it yourself. So URL is equal to HTTP. Hello. Oh, but it's HTTPS. That's why. Oh. URL 8. Yeah, it's got it. Okay, so I'm going to assume that is. How about we just say we replace HTTP? So we say URL replace HTTP with WS. And what if URL contains HTTP something? And you say one time? Yeah. There we go. Then self client URL. And then / replace that, and then CLI maybe. Next, how would I do that? I share is fine. Share is fine. Code equals runner load config attempt. Yes. And then we call this thing WS talk. Await WS. So how about await self WS talk? WS. And this needs. I guess I have to run this too. I have to. So okay, so share, and then we have to do the same thing. So async def share. Really just this, right? It wants a space. What's wrong with that? What are you mad? We haven't noticed the blank line yet. It's a blank line. What do you call it? Right there. Oh, I see. There's a slash. Okay. And this needs to be an F string so that that gets interpolated. What is this? What's the problem here? Got connect instead. Oh, okay. You have to await it. Okay, so await. And then now we get the connect. Okay. Okay, so now if I run this, I'm thinking tanco. I'm thinking what should happen is it should try and connect to the server. So here's my server. And it should try and connect here, and then it should fail because that's not an endpoint, but it should at least say that there's something here. Oh, WebSockets has no attribute client. Okay. Okay, start again. 404, right? So it did connect and it got to the share endpoint, but then it failed because there's no share endpoint on the server. So now what do we do? Now we go back to the app, I guess. Control Shift N, and we go to app.py. All right, so live, this is the listener. This is for browsers to interact with the server. This is for browsers to interact with the server. And this one will be share. This is for the command line client to interact with the server. And we'll say attempt share. Why is it mad? Wants two spaces. Can I broadcast a video stream using WebSockets? I'm not sure about that. I think in theory you could, but there's a protocol called RMTP, real-time messaging protocol. That's the protocol that uses video. Like that's what I'm using to talk to YouTube right now. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Okay, RTC. Yeah, I would think you would have to do your own encoding and everything. I would probably use some kind of video streaming software that's already that already exists if it were me. There's a duplicated code fragment. Yes, okay, so port WebSocket. This is duplicated code. So this is not what we're going to do. So here, what we're going to do, what did I get? So Q is the, somewhere else I'm talking to observers and doing something with them. So basically, I have a bunch of people watching this attempt. So it could be any number of connections. You could have two browsers open or whatever. And then you want to notify them. Okay, so notify is what I want. Supabase is not for Java, only for Kotlin. I don't believe that's true. It has nothing to do with Java or Kotlin or anything. It's just a backend hosting service. Connect to it with whatever you want. It's actually written in Elixir, so I don't think it has anything to do with Java or Kotlin. And I am from New York in America, in the United States. What is my problem here? What am I doing? I want to connect to I want to call notify something. Like, what does notify use? Notify uses code, data, and wrap. Notify code and data, and then wrap is equal to false. But every time I get a response back from this thing, no. Notify code data. So data is going to be await something. So we're going to await the response, like WS receive, right? But it's not called that. WS report WebSocket. This is the first time we're getting some information back down the WebSocket. So WS receive, we say await, yeah, WS receive. It should not just spontaneously do stuff. So we got to say like global clients should be a dictionary, and clients code equals WebSocket, right? Yes. And then we'll make this thing. WebSocket, and it's nothing. Yeah, that's right. I'm a very experienced programmer. I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm sorry, this is not entertaining. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. But yeah, and this whole point is that I'm hoping to teach people a few things about what I know about programming. And I find that people, if you just give them a tutorial, they don't learn as much. You have to challenge them, and so making a challenge to get people to make different things, and like the first one being this Tetris game. I know this doesn't look like Tetris. But in order to do that and like actually help people, I gotta like make the software work. So I don't know if you know what I'm doing at all. I don't know if you know if you've seen any of my other videos, but the whole point of this, oh, that's broken. Everything's broken. I run the server, not within a WebSocket context. What happened where? Line 311 is broken. I mean, I know this whole thing is broken. Why is 311 broken? That not within a WebSocket context. So I oh, WebSocket. Okay. So it doesn't like that. It doesn't like my type signature. All right. All right. So what I was going to say is that you know, the idea is these are tests for Tetris, right? So you start out with um, so first of all, you pick a challenge, and then it's LearnTris, and so LearnTris is the first one. You go to LearnTris Classic. This is my attempt, and then first test was just quit the program, and then we wanted to print the empty well or the empty matrix, and so on, and so you just build up from there. This is a bunch of little challenges that get you going all the way up here to the point where you're you know, actually being able to make a almost a game, right? So this is on a T tetramino, the M's down here. This is magenta. Drop it all the way to the bottom. Make a Z tetramino, which is the red one. It looks like a zigzag. Rotate it once, move it to the left, and then drop it, and then print the whole thing. That's the whole thing. I'm trying to make a course here, and then and even this is just like a first step, right? Because it's not. I made this Tetris thing a long time ago, but it was like you ran it in the console or in the shell, and it was so hard to use that people didn't really use it. So I'm trying to clean it up and get this stuff working. But then I want to make a whole bunch of other courses that are all like, you know, building other things like a virtual machine and a programming language and an editor and things like that all use the same framework. So you write your program on your computer and you run these tests to like test your program. And to do that, you need to be, you know, in order to run it from the browser, we have to have a WebSocket connected to your client, right? Which is what this is trying to do right now. So actually, if I say tanco share now, it should work. Oh, still rejected WebSocket connection, HTTP 400. HTTP 400 is a bad request. It said 404 before, but now it's a 400. I think I might need to actually change something in the Nginx code here. It's tanco, right? So tanco is the name of the. Yeah, it's this. So live is the one you connect with, and then if we want to say share, and then I deploy that. How to build your own server? Well, I mean, I don't know what you mean by building a server. I rent a virtual machine from Linode, They're just called VPS, Virtual Private Server. Linode.org. I think they're Linode.com. Sorry, they got bought up by Akamai recently. But I pay about 20 bucks a month for this, and then I just connect into it and run whatever I want on it. And so Nginx is Nginx is a pretty popular web server like Apache, but like seems to work better with WebSockets and stuff. So that's what I'm using. You just run it. I don't really know much about administering it, but I just opened the manual and read it, or didn't open a book. I read it on the website and got it running. All right, so yeah, I think this is gonna work now. Yeah, okay, so we're connected. List index out of range. Okay, what happened? Toke 0 equals send. Okay, so I got an empty message. Maybe some kind of maybe it sent me a keep alive message kind of thing. I don't know. Tokes 0 equals send. So we say if tokes and toke 0 equals send. Right, so now I'm building my own little protocol on top of the WebSocket thing. So I should print out whatever it sends me. Print receive message. So let's break this. Oh, yeah, okay. I received like a blank line. Okay. Cool. And if I haven't told this to do anything yet. What do I want this to do? I want this to post whatever I type in here to an endpoint called like shell or something. I think I already set that up in the form, right? In the attempt. Shell output. Yeah, we post to the shell. So if I move this over here and I hit hello and hit send, that should post something over here, and we should see a post to shell. We do. And that returned a 404. So you get 2 lines. That was a 404. Okay, because there is no shell endpoint. So we have to make one. Async def no, sorry. This would be an app route a code shell, not share. I broke it. Shell, right? Shell. And when we post to it, yeah, that's right. So yes, we want to require UID. Require a, okay, and then async def attempt shell, and the code and the UID. And then, oh, you had something for me there, the Copilot. Or wait, court request JSON. How about? Sure, but we'll send in the form. And then the command equals JSON get form get command. Yeah, okay, we'll make that command. That's fine. I kind of like that better than whatever I did. Name equals command. I'm making a live streaming video application in Java in Android Studio. I'm using Node.js WebSocket server for games and database MySQL. Can MySQL handle thousands of requests per second? I don't know. I've never I've never had enough success with an application that I had thousands of requests per second. I don't see why not, but you might need to have a cluster of those things, and I don't know anything about setting up that kind of stuff. I would imagine that this kind of thing happens all the time, but live streaming video applications. Why do you have games? I don't understand the connection between games and video. Hey, why did this change? Because I changed the name of the thing, and so it changed the style sheet no longer applies to it. I just actually changed this to input. Like stream cur, okay. Stream cur, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Stream car, okay. Okay. So from your phone, you want to stream onto your website. You're competing with like Twitch or Facebook Live or whatever. Are you doing this for a business, or are you doing this because you just want to build it to know how to build it? Why didn't that change the size? Business. Well, good luck with that. I would be very intimidated to try that with like Amazon buying Twitch and all that. But I guess if you have a good audience, you know who you're talking to, then you can make anything happen. Why is this not input? Why would that not apply to that? I don't know why that doesn't work. Maybe I need to put important on it or whatever. How about we just say shell name equals command. There we go. Not minus 80 pigs, minus like 70 pigs. 50 pigs. That does not seem right. Why would that? Because this is not being applied. It is 50 pics. .500 pixels, show width plus 20 pics. Okay. This. Oh, because this is not. I lost somehow. I lost the word width. There you go. Now they're all the same size. So this should be 50 pics now, which is what it was before, and then I started being silly. Why is that not the same size? This is not. That actually doesn't apply. You have to say important over here. But it is being applied, so I can forget that. So, and it's like 70 pics, right? Because 60 pics. Because we don't know what the margin is between these two things. But why is it too wide over this way? 10 pics? I'm not sure why that works. I would not expect that to work. All right. Did you stream daily? Sometimes I have little kids, so I stream whenever I can. I have plenty of stuff on my YouTube channel that's live. I don't know that I would listen to myself sitting here talking so slowly and thinking all the time. But I guess the point of that is that you can fast forward or put it on double speed or whatever. But I am here often. All right, so now if I hit, am I connected? I need another little button like this that says that the other thing is connected, like the client is connected to us, which it is not, right? So okay, tanco share. And if I hit this send, now this goes to, oh, okay. The response value turned by the view function. Okay, so I didn't return a value. And then otherwise, what are we going to do? We are going to return just okay, the word okay. What we say, if we get this, else, return no client connected 400. And then we send it. But this is not async. Okay, this is async. We await, we send it, and then what do we do? All right, so get a command, no command given. If a WebSocket exists that is listening to us, the client, okay, then send this to the client. And that's all we have to do here. But probably we should say send plus command. And then the server is going to send something back. All right, so run it. Run this. We're connected. Refresh here. And then send. We'll just send P to print the matrix. Got a 400 errors. Okay, so inspect. Oops. If I send that, we send P, and it gave me a 400 error, and the error was no client connected. What happened? Why is the client not connected? Client is connected. Right, so over here, It did connect to live, but not to share. Tanco share is not doing what it's supposed to do. Tanco share was supposed to connect. What? I'm expecting under this line, right, to see connecting to live. But this says share. Oh, I know what's happening. The rewrite rule in Nginx is not needs to capture this thing. So we have to say endpoint. All right, so try that again. Otherwise, it was rewriting. It was just hard coded to rewrite it to live. There we go. Now we're on share, and we got a 500. Okay, server rejected WebSocket connection. Seems strange. Got a we did get it, but we got a 500 connection. So why maybe there's more to the. First of all, let's make sure that this still works. So that still says we're connected. Oh, well, thanks for subscribing. Come back anytime. Best of luck. Let me know how it goes. This is working. But why did this not connect? Like the nice to meet you. Why did this break? I'm a little baffled here. I don't know why that broke. Server rejected WebSocket connection. HTTP 500. I do have a double slash here. Okay, maybe that's the problem. But it did say it connected, so it shouldn't be the problem. Server rejected connection. Did I not mark it as a WebSocket inside? share is a app WebSocket. Oh, maybe you have to do something with it. Like it ought to have printed out something. What do you have to do with this? I guess you need a loop like this. Okay, so try while true. So WebSocket res is equal to await WS receive. Print what it says. And this should be client's pop code. All right, so now we have a loop waiting for this to happen. WebSocket res is this. And then we want to what? When we get a response from this, we want to notify code of the response, but we're going to wrap it in our own thing, which would be like pre ID equals. I'm not sure how you do this. I think you can append it somehow with pre ID equals the result, like the chunk of HTML here, shell output. All right, and I run this. Oh, okay, so that didn't work. It was refreshing. Tanco share, connected to it. Okay. We don't have any indication that it's connected, but we believe it's connected. And if we say P and send, at 400, no client connected. Okay, so it still does not see the client. That ought to be there. I don't see why it's not there. And go share. And then when we do this, and hit P, send, no client connected. It finds it. Clients get that. Is it falsy for some reason? Is not none. Okay, that's something happened not within a WebSocket connection. Right, I'm not in a WebSocket connection. I just want to send something. I've done this before. Because Notify does it, right? Notify does things. Oh, you have to say, oh, you have to have a queue here. All right, so let's make this a queue as well. All right, so we'll just say, we're going to do exactly the same thing we did before. So queue equals async IOQ. Code equals queue. We do not share the WebSocket with the rest of the world. We're going to say command equals await queue.command, queue.get, and then we're going to await sending the command to the WebSocket, and then we're going to get a response, and then we get the response. So we'll say send print sending command to WebSocket command. All right, so I think that is a little more sensible now. Let's see, so we connect to here, we make the WebSocket connection, refresh, make this WebSocket connection, we send P, boom. Okay, that got mad. Queue object has no attribute send because it's called put. Right, because this is actually a queue here, and then we say so if queue equals, then we rate queue.put this. And I think we don't need this anymore. I think it's clear that this works. All right, trying again. It's got disconnected. Oh, 502. Ah, we got an okay back. We got a response back. Routine notify was never awaited. Okay, so we have to await notify. And my IDE was trying to tell me that already. Await notify. And we replaced the form with the this, and so we need to say like hx replace false, I think. I think that's what it is. If that doesn't work, we'll try something else. So P. Okay, so that showed up, but it didn't show up in the right place. And the OK didn't happen. So we have to learn how to do that. So htmx.org. Come on. And in the reference, none. So it's htmx swap is none, not htmx replaces none. What did I say? I said htmx replace equals false. It's actually hx swap equals none. Okay. We're still connected there. We're still connected here. I think we just refresh this and then hit P here, and then this should leave this in place. And then we can say P, and there we get the information, but it's not, it should show up in here. Why? PID equals shell output. Whereas in here, the shell output. So we need to trigger the out of band thing. HX swap out of band, that should work. And if we say P, I have a feeling this is not going to work so well in a minute, but just to get it. What? No, this is not it. Right, because this is just a form post. This has nothing to do with anything. This either needs to be on the WebSocket. I'm not sure. Where do we put this thing? Maybe we put it on the output. So that would be here. Let's try that. So every time we do that, we have to reconnect over here now. So this needs to be a little smarter and reconnect. But some content. Okay, so then actually this goes on the WebSocket. Not this. This goes on the web. On put that in this. Hang on, the WebSocket's already like that. Has tooltip. Maybe did I screw this up and put like the? Yeah, I did. I put this in front of that. Right. So okay, that was my whole problem. WebSockets already go out of band. I put this in, like, that is not important. You can put the hash mark in the ID itself. Only use it when you're referring to the ID. All right. Okay, that. Oh, we didn't get. Okay, we're not connected. Okay, so refresh this. Yeah, and it should come in here now. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, because I also have to tell it to not wrap it. You say wrap equals false. Most of the time, you do want it in that area. Maybe I should just remove that, or make that thing not optional. And this is still dead again. Okay, that really need to recover that. Right. There we go. This thing should be 22 lines high. So in the style sheet, it needs to be line height equals 22 lines high, because that is the height of a Tetris grid. It does not. There we go. There we go. And so if we say spawn a T and a V and a P, that should spawn a T tetramino, spawn a Z at the top, and then sentence. This should work. There we go. Boom. I like that. If I say, yeah, oh, so you have to clear it first. Right, and so now we can say move it over, and then move it down a few, and then rotate it, and then drop it, and there we go. I like that. That's pretty cool. Hey, can I mark that? I want to like mark that little point. Markers may appear in video. Okay, so cool. All right, so then this needs to toggle something. This needs to, first of all, that is the wrong help text. That's in state, isn't it? Show. Toggle the shell. Toggles the interactive shell. Toggles interactive. Toggles WebSocket shell. For talking to your target program. As far as tanco share. So then when we I don't know if HTMX has anything like toggle or something. I think we just have to write JavaScript to do it. Yeah, I don't think it does any kind of Yeah, I don't think that. So we need to just put like a little JavaScript button. So it's just a plain old JavaScript thing. Okay, so shell height equals button on click equals toggle shell shell. And then in the index HTML, we will say, add this right here, toggle shell. How about say function toggle shell? That's actually reasonable. And we just add something here that says shell dot hidden display none. There you go. If we clear it and then print it, then that's it. And then toggle the shell. I like that. And if we get something else here and we toggle this, oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so now the next part of it is, well, let's commit all this because this is the interactive shell. Let's commit this part. Okay, I probably didn't even need to do that. cd tanco. Add tanco share and shell and make the and UI shell. I really like that. That's so cool. Okay, and then so now the next thing is to have these buttons work. Maybe I should just enable them for now, and then they might not work if this isn't set up. But I'll move that later. Like when this gets toggled, we'll enable these buttons. Because like even the shell doesn't make a lot of sense if the although I guess you would always want to be able to toggle this, even though this button would be disabled. And what we want this to do See, right now it's sending a command called send, and I think maybe we want this to be like eval or like, you know, because the command would be like tanco eval, right? Like, what's the point of that? Kind of really doesn't make a lot of sense to have that as a command because you can just run your program directly. You know, I'm talking about from here, right? Because you can run this thing called tanco shell, or if you're in the directory where you're making your thing, and you have your right. So here's my red implementation, and I have a .tanko file, cat.tanko, and it says run this program. Then I ought to be able to say tanko send, and then, you know, what I'm talking about is this. Like, you would say tanko send, and then the string you want to send, which would be like what I typed in here, like some command, and then it would run your program and print it out. T, and okay, so C, whoa, TP, clear and print. Just be clear on a T tetramino, drop it. C, move, you know, drop it. Rotate, drop it. But tanko send is not a command, right? But you don't need to do that because you can just say, you know, you can just say echo through red redress, right? And you can just do that way. So I don't know if send needs to be a command. But I guess what I'm getting at is that it would make it kind of nice if that were a command, because then in the driver here, so I guess I'm done with all this. Close all the others. I don't know, leave them open because my right click menu doesn't show up for. I'm actually starting to think it might be the mouse. Close on other tabs. But the idea would be that let's zoom out to this so we get we have all these commands here, and if one of them were to do that, you know, then we could just send, you know, we like I already have this, right? See, yeah. So like here's what I'm saying. Like, see, because okay, so here, yeah, I'm rambling, I know, but forget this. It's not just about this. You have this thing called tanko shell, and now you have this, and you have help, and you can get all these things. So what if you had a word that said spawn? Like, so we factor out spawn and make it a command, right? And then we factor out send, and we so tanko client self target equals none, and then this is the target program. And then here we would say def do spawn self arg, which we ignore, and then we'll say self target equals this target, right? And then we say do spawn self do spawn, and then target equals self target. But we can even just replace this wherever this is. We'll just say self target. We can get rid of this now. So how about if not self target, self do spawn. Okay. Or I actually anticipate like something that reloads it every time. So let's say self ensure target. Def ensure target, not self target, self do spawn. And then later we'll add more stuff for when it like crashes. And then, right, so spawn launches the thing, and then send would be like def do send self arg self ensure target self target standard and right. So now everything here. We don't actually care about that. That actually is only for the WebSocket. I think. Mm-hmm. And then we're still self do send command. All right, so this actually does not return anything, and it can't return anything. But we can say def read output, and then that will return a list of string. I know all my commits are failing because there's like rough is running, and I've got like some broken stuff that I haven't looked at. Do send command. We say lines equals read equals self read output. No, I think this just has to happen. And then we say self output is equal to lines is equal to join lines. Like that. Equals self output, like. But then this should also print that, I think. All right, so maybe we can turn that off. Right? So if not suppress, print self output. Okay, all good. And then here we could suppress it if we want. All right, so now on, and then send P, and then, oh, we don't have read line. Send TVZ P. There we go. Oh, okay, so. And then quit. So now we have an interactive shell. And we can do the same, and we've refactored the WebSocket to do the same thing here. Let's call this tokens, so it doesn't get mad at me. And so now send is like a command that we can trigger from the back, from the other side of the WebSocket. Elif how about we say if not tokens, if tokens, if tokens 0. I would say match token 0, match token 0. A send or just send? A send, I guess that's okay. So and then anything else we say res equals error unknown WebSocket command. Okay, so I like that. And then now we can add something in here that says case test self do test. Oh, and that's actually going to trigger a command there. So that's all we have to do. And then res equals okay. Like that. Ran tests. Running tests. Running tests. No, I said we have test ran tests. Do next. Next test ran. Then go next. Ran tanco test. Okay. now we close this and we do tank instead of tanco shell, we do tanco share, and now we get the same features in this shell. Except this one already wraps everything in send. So to do these things, we have to do another. I think like we want to pass in like one of these this little like what do we call this command? Like I want to send in this verb, right? The verb, I guess. Like verb is what I'll call it. And I want to send it from submit. It's like send command. Well, say tanco next. Except not next, it would be test, right? It's like command then command test. And this one is next. And I think I'm just gonna disable this. Doesn't exist yet, so let's just comment this out for a second for now. And we'll just remove the disabled bit. But that function doesn't exist. And so let's make that function, which also goes in, I guess, index.html for now. Function send command. I think we don't even need that. I think we can just send name equals command type message, or type equals hidden, and the value is equal to send, and then the message will be something else. How about the name test? or message, right? And then I have to change the style sheet yet again. And then they're all going to post to that same place. And I think all this can go into, we can move all this from here over to the attempt. It does kind of like, they might change based on the good state.html. Put this here. And then we'll say div id equals buttons, and move all that stuff. Move all this stuff in here. And clean it up a little. Why would it think I want the code formatted that way? That makes no sense. Is it re-indent code? What did I just do? Click this button to. I think there's a separate command for re-indent code. That is a terrible job of indentation. Okay. This goes inside of here. This goes inside of here. This goes inside of this. I'll just delete this. Okay, whatever. I can move that to the style sheet. We haven't told the buttons to do anything yet. Okay, so now we tell the buttons to do something. We tell them to send command, and then the send command needs to do something, right? But then I was going to say, maybe we just say hx post a data.code /. command. Or maybe next. Test. It's not very restful. This is very much a, but that's okay. This is not, everything can't be a RESTful API. But I think we'll say command test. And then we'll have a handler for command on that app side, right? We don't even need this. We just get the command. If not command, so that is not even an option anymore. We have a command, and then command. I think that's it. I think that's all I need to do. But maybe call it attempt command. All right, and then run the test. I said okay. And the test failed. And then this is, so it worked. This all worked. And it should have sent something down the wire, but it doesn't. And then, okay, so we need to not replace this. And we say hx swap is none. Toggle the shell. And we didn't really need to do this. In fact, we broke it. We don't need this. And then actually, I actually broke that over on the other the app because it now says a message. Message, no message given. And we'll call this Shift F6 message. But we don't even have to do this if. Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. We've hard draft. I fixed this in the code, but I don't have any way to the code for the test, but I don't have any way to I don't have any way to. What am I trying to say? I don't have any way to go into the database and edit this to fix this typo here. I need to like update things. But that'll come later. That's like a that's not anything to do with what I'm doing now. It bugs me every time I see it. Here too. Right here. All right, so this needs to show, and then when we actually run the test, we need to see. There's a, but I know what I can do. So I'm gonna load up the actual code here. This is a code for the implementation that is being tested right now. Oh, and I don't have a button, so now I need to like spawn it again. So I need to respawn the thing. I need a button to respawn. And maybe we'll have that happen spontaneously. Spontaneously? Command on run restart your target program. Restart your target program. Of course, to deploy this, then it's gonna kill this anyway. Also, did testing quit? Testing caused this to exit, didn't it? Or no? Yeah, it quit. It didn't send. Right, because when the test ends, it exits. So we got to fix that, and we got to keep that from happening. Which is why I refactor things to use a fail function, so there's like one place where a system.exit is being sent, and then we can just change that based on where we are. All right, so just make sure everything's working. Nope, not working. Go. All right, so now what I was thinking I would do is then I would just say in this, I will say print break. All right, and so then we don't have to refresh anything here. We say spawn, error unknown command. Receive spawn. All right, because it doesn't know. All right, there. Because I have to explicitly whitelist each one. You could automate this a little bit, but let's just spawn. Restart. So we do this. Boom. And then what do I want to do? Break. Okay. I say break. Oh, because the test is failing, right? And then so now when I run this test, it should fail on like this very first or the second test, IOP. Yes, fix IOP. That's it. It's telling me to do that. That's good. I don't know why this this thing is showing up here. Right, but then if I go in here, oh, but this disconnected, right? So this also is it's dead. So you only get, once you hit the test button, it's dead right now. I'll have to fix that. But it was in fix IOP. Hopefully this should change. Oh no, it timed out. What is this timeout thing? I'm not sure what that is. Here. All right, so if I hit the test, right, I'm in fix mode, so I need, if I hit test, then this should change to, it's going to crash on the back end because it completes the test. But once it does, it should also, it shouldn't take that long to run. Something, it died. Wait, connect URL. Did I do something wrong here? Test. Next to spawn. Is it the test is taking so long to run that this is timing out somewhere? No. Line 329 in share. 329. But it timed out here before it even got to talk. The connection timed out. So it needs to like retry that or something. Because that was probably just like a glitch because I was like saving something and the server was restarting. I don't know. I think probably this should be hidden by default. And then test. See what it's doing. It timed out again. I think sometimes you need to like send a message to the thing. Just like send a hello message when it connects. Wait, WS send hello. Maybe this won't happen again. Right, hello should be fine. Okay, and then run the test. Error unknown command. Oh, but it did fix this. It said collide left block. That's good. I don't know what the unknown command was for though. Why does it say unknown command? Who said unknown command? There's error unknown command. Oh, because the hello did that. That's weird. So that's because in the driver, when we connect, assert hello equals W equals WS receive. Okay. And we'll write print connected. Right, so I got the hello, it's connected. And then this should not do that again. All right, so I'm going to I think what I'd like to see is like some kind of progress meter. I had this listed before, like maybe over here. Put a background color on these things or something. And like gray these all out and then like repopulate them, or make them into little dots or something, or you put a progress bar. Like right here. Have it change colors. It actually did run tanco next, so that's fine. Test. Oh, ran. It doesn't even tell me it ran tanco test, even though it did. Because it ended. All right, so I still need to like draw the other connect button, like the connect status, and then I have it All right, so we do show action buttons on web, add simple target console, yep. Add a second WebSocket indicator for client, we have not done that. Add a listener for the tanco client. Yes, we've done that. Okay, so it did that. Add a listener at a code share for the tanco for the client. Tanco share does open socket to the server. Boom, done. Then commands like, yep, that is working. And this is almost done, except we need the indicator. And then we need to handle disconnects and attempt to reconnect. And then also we need to do not kill the program, or do not allow sys.exit when testing from the share, I guess, from the share. And I think the test probably should also, well, they already do this. They already respawn it, right? But like the tests, they don't, but the tests should respawn. And this is what the sending with the dollar sign, right? Because like the idea would be, that you're only going to open the connection once, and then you're going to run the test, and then the test should like clear the state every time, right? Rather than stopping the program and starting it again, you just keep it connected. So tests should respawn on each test on each test run. Tanco test should respawn, but not each test. Yes, that's it. And then that way you would be able to run a test, and then you would immediately be able to see the shell here and see what the state of the system was by saying P or whatever. You could inspect the thing that failed, assuming your program didn't crash completely. If your program crashed, you're there's nothing you can do. I'm gonna remove this button for now. I think like it might be a valid thing to do, but well, it's okay. I don't think you'd be clicking it that often though. Hey, sweetie, you need me? I'm be down in a minute, okay? I'm gonna wrap this up anyway. It's been 3 hours. Yeah, I'm pretty close to this. I think I'm gonna hide this button, but then for now. Yeah, I'm working. I'll be down in a minute, sweetie. Yeah, sweetie, I'll be down in a minute. I'm working. Yeah, just a minute, sweetie. You can come in. I'm gonna turn this off. Yeah, there's no point in trying to continue this. Come in, sweetie. I'm here. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.